Hey guys, Mike with Chassis Parts Online again. Today I want to go over the latest version of the air ride control arms. If you remember, we talked about the normal arms where this tube goes in here, straight in the middle of this. When the arm is raised up, that part hits the aluminum crossmember, and the back part was hitting the frame. Now, in previous versions, I let this tube come straight back and notched it and set this one down inside of it and welded around it. But it's a pain in the ass to do that. So this was my newest solution right here. That's a 1/2-inch plate that raises it up. I can set it in a jig and put this in a jig, the threaded part. And this is in a jig, and even that's in a jig. And it comes out perfectly straight in line with the bushing, because it's in a jig basically. Got the back plate on top, brace there, and the tube is sitting at the bottom, as you can see, sitting flush on the bottom. That's what it looks like on the bottom right there. It comes down flush. So yeah, it gives it a little bit of clearance. Makes it better for guys that are running bags. With the bag plate on the bottom here, you can make your upper bag mount pretty low, or you can put a spacer here and go up to your bag mount, depending on what kind of setup you're running. At least that's options, you know. You're not running out of room for a bag, for sure. So yeah, these are that's the latest version of those, and I like them. I wish I could come up with a better way to notch this tube, because this tube is a bitch to notch. I have to put this tube in the jig without that, and then I've got the size of this, the drawing of this on the plate that it sits against to trace this, and then I have to cut that tube with a grinder and notch it, and you know what they call in cutting is called sneaking up on it, and that's what I have to do. But I've gotten pretty good at it. I get it pretty nice pretty quickly. So I don't know how else you could notch that tube unless you had a bit that size and it was offset. This tube was offset in some type of jig, and it would cut through. Maybe when we were a bigger company, we can afford a machine to do that. Okay, let me. I got to pull up the one of the other sets of arms, and we'll look at those. Okay, this is the standard 1-inch shorter arms for struts or coilovers, and these are laying upside down. Okay, so basically you got two holes here. That's stock height, pretty much, and this is 1 inch shorter with your strut. These are spaced apart to where you have a little washer that goes inside there, one on each side. If you're going with a coilover, you have to have a couple more washers or some spacers, but these are pretty much made to fit either one. They're the same as the other ones. The thing I don't like about these is that weld-in bung. It's some kind of stainless, and it's a pain in the ass to get welded good. So, and it's also a 1/2-inch where the factory is 14 millimeters. So I'm about to change to a 9/16 weld-in bung thing that I've got. I've got my my helper putting a groove in them on the lathe. Let me turn these over. Okay. So this is what they look like if they're sticking out from your truck, basically. You can see. And these are clean. I haven't cleaned these up. I haven't done anything to them. They came right off the weld table. So you can see the heat signature on these. Heat signature here. Heat signature there, and you got to get a lot of heat signature on this piece, because it's got a base weld with the 1/16 rod, and then another one 1/8 inch over the top of it, and then also on the inside same way. There's a gap in there to fill, plus the whole truck front end is riding on those. So we get them hot. The base weld going in gets that pretty hot before we do that, before we weld the other one. One of the things I don't like about this hole being offset is it's when I've got the nut, this fits in a jig like this, when I got a nut on here, it's hard to get past that with a weld. So the new version, I've moved the hole over to the center so I can clear that better, and then I'm gonna put a stand on the jig where I can have a bolt that goes down through here. Then I'll use a button head so it doesn't interfere with the head of the TIG welder as I'm coming across there with it. So basically what I'm saying is I'm constantly trying to improve these. You know, as you know, guys, we have also got the wider version of this that we talked about probably just the other day. Anyways, this is the standard version. These are 1 1/4 inch DOM quarter wall. These are made out of DOM. This is 2.5 DOM quarter wall. The ball jointer plates are 1/2 inch thick. The mid brace is 3/8 thick. The strut tabs are 1/4 thick. Now, you can see this one's got a notch in it. That tells me that it's the shorter one, okay? Because basically, the strut in the car is at an angle. So basically, it's sitting in the car, the inside, no, it's this side right here. The inside is the shorter one. The strut comes up here at an angle out of that hole, okay? Just a little bit of an angle, but I had to match that with those tabs. So yeah, those tabs are not the same size, which means on the jig, one side is bolted up higher than the other. It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to make the jig, make it all fit. But it did fit. But yeah, we're changing that. As soon as I run out of these, I'll change the jig and everything over. As soon as I run out of these, I'm almost out of these, so I'm fixing to be changing that over. And then you guys that run the rear control arm mount made by Outcast, our bolt will fit through that, so you won't have to get a different sleeve. But I do have those sleeves. Those are the Outcast sleeves right there. If you got an older version of my arms, these sleeves will fit the Outcast rear bushing. That bushing's got a 1 inch OD. Okay. So, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Hit like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Trying to get up a bunch of subscribers. Try to put some content out as often as I can. So, these got to go in a box today, so I guess I'll get with it. Peace.